And getting back to Harris Walls, they've done the fewest interviews of any presidential ticket. And I believe they have a bit of a media blitz planned for this last month. We saw Kamala was just on Call Her Daddy. She was just on, I think, 60 Minutes.
She's
Did
going
not
on
do
Howard
well.
Stern. She's going on all the late night comedy shows. But what she fails to realize is, well, she's the biggest joke of all. And so not going on Howard Stern, going on Call Her Daddy, going on Stephen Colbert, whatever she wants to go on, it's not going to make her likable. And everybody can see she's incapable of answering an unscripted question.
And do you think that it seems like you did answer my question? Like, is this a strategic move? Like, just wait until the last minute, wait until the last month, then do a bunch of appearances and hope that that's enough. But I think
they have to own it. They have to own it because Donald Trump is now leading in the polls nationally by 10 points. And so they have to own this now. They pushed Joe Biden out. They staged a coup. And now there's White House. I just posted about this last night. There's even White House staffers who are leaking. Just think about this. They are actually leaking the fact that Kamala Harris, whenever she has town halls or she speaks at a university or whatever she does, she wants her staff to get a bio of the person asking the question. They like make them vet them so they're not like a secret conservative or some kind of plant asking a question, and they make them submit a slew of questions, and then they have to prep her on the questions so that regardless of which question is asked, she can answer it with a scripted answer. And that makes me believe that she was given the answers in the debate, the first presidential debate that we saw in Philadelphia, ahead of time. Because when you look at the way that she answered questions there compared to, well, the way she answers questions now, she's not able to answer a question, even on Call Her Daddy. I mean, look, it's not like Alex Cooper is actually like the most high IQ person. She talks about sucking dick. Okay.
Right. It's not a hard-hitting interview.
You think that Kamala Harris would be at home on a blowjob podcast, given the fact that she got her career started sucking dick, right? But even then, she's nervous. She can't even feel comfortable in her own natural habitat on a blowjob podcast.
Yeah. And I was expecting to hear some tales about, dating Willie Brown, maybe some BJ tips. And no, none of that came. And of course, Alex Cooper did not really challenge her on much. And then
because I don't think Alex Cooper really has a high IQ. Okay. Look, let's be honest. She's a very attractive woman, obviously.
I don't get political on this show. It's like, no, I think because you can't really speak on it. And then you just
she can't speak on anything. I mean, really, honestly, if she was smart, if I was advising Alex Cooper, okay, if this was a smart woman and she actually wanted to take advantage of having the vice president of the United States on, and Alex Cooper, if she truly wasn't political, she would have had enough common sense to know, oh, this is a sex podcast. It would go so viral. I mean, Alex Cooper would have gained millions of followers if she would have asked Kamala Harris, so what was it like giving head to get ahead? I mean, really, honestly.
Right? It could have been
funny. But she doesn't even have the intellect, in my opinion. I don't think that this girl really has the intellect to even know who Willie Brown is. I don't think she's that intelligent. She makes her money because we live in a degenerate culture, and I'm not knocking her. That's what she does. That's her niche, okay? You want to make money talking about blowjobs all day? Great. Go do your thing. And clearly it's working out for her because she signed a $125 million contract with Spotify. So she's clearly, at home in that niche of teaching women how to suck dick. But the reality is that if she really actually wanted to take advantage of the Kamala Harris interview and make it thematic to her podcast, then she would have asked. She would have asked her, a lot of people say that you gave oral sex to Willie Brown in order to get your position. What do you have to say about that? But she's not even intelligent enough to formulate proper questions for the vice president of the United States. So look, I don't know. I think that it's a desperate attempt. And this is why I guess people should stick to what they're good at.
What BJ tips are you actually going to really get from a podcast? Everyone knows it's trial and error. So here's a clip of Alex with Kamala. And at one point, I don't know if this is the clip, but I found it very interesting that Kamala, and she's a very nervous interviewer. She's terrible off the cuff. At one point she said, I'm actually the only vice president or president. She alluded to the fact that she's the only person that has ever had to use reproductive services. And I was like, is she admitting to having an abortion? But here's a clip of Alex asking her.
She probably has had an abortion. I mean, look, a lot of women have had abortions. She doesn't have kids. And you have to ask yourself, look, I'm not knocking women who do not have children. I mean, I do not have children, but you have to ask yourself, obviously Kamala Harris is a very sexually promiscuous person and she got her career started. It's well documented. I mean, this is not a conspiracy. This is not a lie to tarnish Kamala Harris. So after a while, if you have enough abortions, it damages your uterus. So I'm not saying that Kamala Harris has had so many abortions to the point where, she damaged her uterus to the point where she couldn't have biological children of her own. But I'm also not saying that didn't happen. So
it's possible.
It's possible that she just had so many abortions that she really wasn't able to have her own children. Because after a while, if you have enough abortions, even if you have one abortion, it's enough to leave permanent scar tissue damage on your uterus. And they say that apparently. I've never had an abortion, never been pregnant, but I have heard from people who have had abortions and I met a woman one time when I was doing reporting in Minnesota, and she said that she regrets getting an abortion because, she got an abortion and she said that by the time she wanted to have kids, she had damaged her uterus and she was not able to have kids. And so she regrets aborting the only child that she was only able to ever potentially have.
They're not like buses. You can't just get the next baby. And there's physical damage and then there's the mental, emotional, spiritual damage, which is forever, which doesn't really get talked about. And that's what I would like to see. It's like more women who've had abortions being like, no, actually it's fucked me up for the rest of my life.
Right.
And instead of feigning that it's like a source of strength, they're like, oh, well, thanks to this abortion, now I can have brunch. So maybe we'll see.
Right.
I want to pose this question more to you and the daddy gang, but one of the biggest conversations.
I hate that she's wearing I don't know if this is Gen Z thing, but the sweatshirts have to stop.
But that's her brand, I guess. And look, who knows? Maybe just being low class is how you make $125 million. I mean, look, you would expect somebody to show some respect. I mean, look, I understand that that's her thing. But you're interviewing the vice presidents of the United States and you're wearing a hoodie. I mean, from the get-go, this whole thing is just so unserious.
And it really looks like they're in a dentist office. The whole thing is off.
Yeah, it's just not
in this year's election revolves around a woman's body.
Yep.
I want to take a moment. And can we try
She's so annoying.
to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision?
I know what you're going to ask.
About a man's body.
No.
Is there any law?
No.
I hate her voice.
Is Kamala laughs and she does this thing where she's like, it's like she's trying to bond with a girlfriend rather than answer a serious question as a presidential candidate.
Right. And also too, I mean, it's just crazy that, Alex Cooper again, like so low IQ. This woman is so low IQ that she has to read a postcard to ask a question instead of just thinking, okay, well, obviously men, can't get abortion. So what, is it really that hard for you, Alex, to memorize a question? Is there any law on the book that tells a man what he can and can't do with his body? I mean, just it just shows you that she's so out of her league. And I'm not saying that, Kamala Harris really requires that much intellect to deal with, but it's just crazy to me that they would even entertain this kind of a podcast. It's so beneath the presidency. And again, look, Alex obviously has done very well for herself. She's a very pretty girl. She's making $125 million. I mean, shit, I'm not making that kind of money. So, but again, I'm not here teaching women how to give blowjobs. And you can make a lot of money on OnlyFans. You can make a lot of money doing a lot of things. You can make a lot of money selling out Donald Trump and trashing Donald Trump. And I'm sure that I could make a lot of money if I did something like that. I'm sure that I could make a lot of money if I were to take my clothes off, being a public figure. There's people out there that would pay for that. But just because something is easy to do doesn't mean you should do it. Doesn't mean that you should do it. And I don't think that Alex Cooper is really doing a service to society by teaching women to be whores, teaching women how to be sexual degenerates, even if she is able to, make $125 million. It's a lot of money. So look, in her niche of teaching women how to give blowjobs, I suppose she's doing a very good job, but it's just really honestly beneath the office of the presidency. And it shows a lack of seriousness, especially at a time when people are suffering and they don't even have food and water in the aftermath of a hurricane.
Yeah, and it's like, and people talk about, well, her reach and how many like Gen Z girls watch her podcast. I don't know. I feel like at this point, even if you are
They
Gen
watch
Z,
it for sexual entertainment, though. Like there were people
Yeah,
commenting on
they're
Alex's
tuning off.
Instagram that said, "Oh, well, this isn't very serious, and why are you getting involved in this? Just stick to what you're doing." Like people have guilty pleasures. People watch trash TV. Like maybe there's women out there who their guilty pleasure is to go listen to a sex podcast, and they want to go be entertained by women talking about like the guys they hooked up with on Tinder and the orgasms they have and whatever. I mean, look, if that's your thing, fine, go do it. Like, I mean, obviously there's conservative people having sex too, but again, just because you talk about a topic doesn't mean that you are qualified to talk about other topics. And so if Alex Cooper wants to have a successful podcast where she talks about sex and talks about really raunchy sexual things, fine. Like, I'm not here to tell her what she can and can't do. She has free speech. I mean, clearly there's a niche for that. She's made a lot of money doing it, but it's not serious political commentary. Like, you should just know your place. You should not be getting involved. Just like I don't want to see musicians and movie stars. Like, I pay you to go write music. I pay you to go make good movies. I don't pay to hear your shitty political views, right? I don't pay to hear your shitty political views. So it's just a shame that people who are not qualified to be speaking on these matters, want to try to influence people. And it's,
right. Plus she's a multimillionaire. She's not leading the life of the average American. That's another reason why people like Alex Cooper and celebrities, they shouldn't be giving out political advice, but
again, you're not exactly like your average American if you're making $125 million. You're just not. Also, I think from my understanding, she lives in California. I'm sure she has security. Okay. I'm sure that she is not really affected by the migrant crime and all of the theft and all of the degeneracy in Los Angeles. Okay. So again, these people live in their bubbles. It's just like Taylor Swift, right? She's a billionaire now, apparently. And she has multi-million-dollar private security guards, private jet, and she can go online and tell people to register to vote, but she's going to be able to eat her designer food, designer clothes, whatever she wants, celebrity chef, private jet. She has a personal nanny for her cat. And most people are not able to make enough to, even pay for childcare. And there's people struggling to pick their kids up and, trying to buy their kids iPads, as awful as it may be, so that they're like virtual babysitters because they can't afford childcare. Okay. And this lady has a nanny for her cat. Sorry, but if you have a nanny for your cat full time and you're flying on a private jet, you're not exactly qualified to be giving the average American political advice. So
love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.